have been following your designs for years now. Like, I think
Wow.
what originally caught my eye was, of course, your your statement pants, and then
Yeah.
when you had did the collaboration with the stacked bow ties. I think that
Oh
was
yeah.
when I first started following you.
Gotcha. Dork Dozier.
Yes, and
Yeah,
so
the
I was
tab
like,
print.
this is different. This is something that I can stand behind, and so
Man, that means a lot to me,
yeah,
because I don't be thinking that. I just design. Like, I just love what I do, and I'm not out here for, of course I want people to respect the craft and everything like that, but I'm not doing it for recognition.
yeah,
I'm doing it to make people feel good, to make people, when they walk out the house, you just turn into a whole different person.
yeah.
So when I do find people like that, what's good, bro? I do. Come here. Come here. I do want you to meet. I don't know if y'all know who Ray is. Sam. I gotta put her on. This is like the
Hello,
next
how are
generation
you?
fashion designer right here. So
Okay,
she just showcased
cool.
on last Friday at the Zenneth experience, and everybody was going crazy over her clothes.
Yeah.
So
Okay, with the 2 for 1, I'm with that.
I
But
just
so
walked
she
in the
just
door.
walked in the door. So I'm like, okay, you just in time. You just in time. But no, no, I'm really proud of her, man, and her craft, her mindset, and she, like, when I created the Zenneth, for people like her, like creative designers that think outside the box. So when we showcase you guys, we can say they brought a show, like they brought true artists who have that creative mind. So, and she's one of them, rare breed for real.
that's awesome, and that's what we're all about too, and like giving that light and spotlight to those that are, I don't even like to say like underrepresented or
Some of us are underrated,
right, right.
underrated.
And but I also just feel like, it's still a place and it's a space and it's a time. And so underrated is like, we still recognize your talent regardless if
Right.
you are quote unquote underrated or not. And, and I feel like some people like kind of look down on that term, you know what I mean? Or feel like they're less than, and that's not the case,
Right.
because things can quickly, and I'm sure, as change overnight, you know what I mean, or in the drop of a dime. And so,
Yeah.
and we're all about shining those spotlights on those types of creatives. So that's awesome that
Thank you.
I was gonna ask about how that
My
how
bad.
that
Go ahead, bro.
collaboration
Go ahead.
came about with the Zenneth collection, and how you guys even came to that, and especially with Brittany Duet, and how you guys even came together to start some type of collaboration and collection like that.
So I met Brittany, well, at the time before we met, I had met Brittany 5 years ago. I was still designing. I started in 2010 while I was in the military. And one of my friends introduced us again in 2017. I had just got to LA. And Brittany, when I met her, she was just like, she had these ideas that she wanted to get out, and she haven't met anybody that kind of, I guess you could say, interviewed, that really understood what she was trying to do or knew how to bring it out. So originally, what people don't know the story is, Deviant wasn't created. When Brittany started, it was Deviant. I don't think we had Deviant yet, or maybe she did, but it was latex. So she wanted to start a latex line. And then one day, fast forward a little bit, she started playing with these ropes. So she started playing with ropes and created like this little skimpy, like barely anything there. And people on her live was like, yo, that looks cool. But it was nothing compared to what you see today.
Yeah.
So she called me over and I saw it, and I was like, yo, that's what we need to do. Like, we need to figure out how to make this into art, because this is different. People, no one's doing it. And even if they did, it's not popping like how this is. So that's when we transitioned from latex to her agreeing, I'm going to focus on doing ropes. So for about 3 months, every day, nonstop, we started creating, trying to figure out how can we get the garment off, how could it be wearable. So I would make corsets from scratch for the back of it, and then it became something. And I think the end of 2017, I told Deviant, you need to be in a fashion show. So I brung her on with Society Fashion Week. Everybody loved it. So we was like the duo that will open and close for each other at fashion shows. So we would open with Alani Taylor and close with Deviant, especially because it was more sex appeal than anything. And that's like to keep the crowd going, you know? So we did that. We partnered for 2 years on that. Deviant became a thing. Everybody wanted Deviant. And then one day Britt got an email from Serena and she was like, hey, I have my client Beyonce that I need you to do something for. So she called me and she was like, are you ready to die? And I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, are you ready to die? So I'm like, no, I'm not. But she was like, we have to design for Beyonce. And I went crazy. Like, no. So
and this was the first time.
Yes, this was Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
This was Lion King. And then
Spirit.
Yes, Spirit and Bigger video.
And Bigger.
So it was exciting until the work time came and the deadline. So she said, I need 10. At first she said, I need 20 pieces. But then she was like, okay, I need 10 pieces for dancers and 1 piece for Beyonce in 4 days. And everything we were doing was handmade. Like there's no sewing. So on the machine, I had to hand sew every single piece. I had to hand sew the rings on the back of it to do the whole corset part. Brittany was gluing, creating. So we did that. That became big. And then Colin called for Cardi B. Mm-hmm. And Colin was like, hey, I want
the rest of it in Cardi, like backstage, right?
Not even at her hotel. And that was even crazy because we're driving to her hotel and I'm like we're going to go see Cardi B, bro. And I'm not even like, I'm not starstruck at all, but it had nothing to do with being starstruck. It had to do with like fashion got me here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Fashion got me in this door. It got me this opportunity. Yes. And I wasn't into fashion growing up. I knew nothing about it. So that alone, I'm like, yo, I'm really about to go see Cardi B for fashion. So went to Cardi's hotel and I had to sew the rest of the pieces onto her to make sure it fit perfectly. That was an experience within itself because Cardi is Cardi. And I love her for it. So that happened. And then last year, Serena called again and was like, hey, oh no. So we did the Zenneth experience. So what we wanted to do, because I was getting lost in Deviant. I had my own brand already coming up, upcoming designer, everybody looked at me as, and I had styled different people, but I kind of walked away from Alani Taylor. Yeah, I started losing myself. I started, because once I see greatness, I want to be a part of your story. So even if that takes me sacrificing my greatness to help you with yours, because I know that I'm great and anything that I touch is going to be gold, I knew that I can afford to step away from mine and still come back and be great.
Yeah.
You know, so I gave all my time to Deviant, but I also started seeing that I started getting frustrated that I wasn't getting the respect that I deserved. People started thinking that I was her help, I was her assistant, that all the work was done by her, and it started making me look at her a certain way. And we was just like, you know what, we can't do this. But going backwards last year, before I walked away, what we tried to do was the Zenneth collection, which is both brands together. We tried to bring the ropes and the dresses in, because I sew, she doesn't. We tried to bring it together and introduce ourselves to the fashion industry. My name is Murph. This is Brittany Duet of Deviant. My name is Murph of Alani Taylor, and we wanted to show you how two creatives can come together and create magic. Yep. That didn't work. It didn't work. After the Zenneth collection was released, all you saw was Deviant, Deviant, Deviant. And I started realizing that people didn't want the Black face a part of the greatness, you know, and people only wanted to see Brittany Duet. And I couldn't take that, you know, because I'm like, I stopped working for my daughter generation to work for this. And I was just like, you know, if I can build what I built for Deviant, I can do that for myself. Absolutely. And I was just like, I gotta go. And then this happened. I knew a year ago that Beyonce was gonna wear the dress. I didn't know it was gonna look the way it looked on a TV screen. So that's how I got here. There's no more collaboration between Alani Taylor and Deviant. So with this, everything now is whatever lane I create for myself. If I fail, I only have myself to blame. Like, I can't look at Deviant anymore and be like, you know what, this is your fault. And then I just, part of that needs to be, the responsibility needs to be taken. So for me, moving forward, is just more so me. I'm 12 years military. I'm a fighter. Yeah. I'm not gonna quit until my name is respected, my name is heard, my craft is seen, and the credit is given to me like I'm supposed to have. You know, this right here, we created magic, we created greatness, we created history with an icon. Yep. And I can never take that away. But now it's Alani Taylor, and that's all I care about.
So yeah, and then you creating this whole brand, you know, in support of your daughter, and you know, especially now at times, because like even you think about Beyonce, Blue just won a whole award, like she's set for the rest of her life if she never does anything. You know what I mean? And that's how we create generational wealth, especially in the community. And so more people need to be doing that, building these things to make sure that your generations to come are set, because we didn't always have that for us, you know, especially growing up. Like a lot of our parents, grandparents, ancestors have been fighting for us to, you know, and we're still fighting to this day. So when we have those opportunities, we definitely have to jump at them. Right. But what was your initial reaction? You already told me your reaction when Brittany hit you up about Serena, but your initial reaction, because I know how private Beyonce is and her NDAs, and Yvette don't play that, and so I'm sure that there were things that you knew but didn't know everything. So what was your reaction when you just finally watched Black is King and saw your dress?
Y'all didn't see the video? I lost my voice.
I missed the video.
Oh my God. I lost my voice within 2 minutes. I went crazy. It was me, my stylist, one of my models, and one of my assistants here. And it came on, like we were up. We was not about to miss it. Right. When it came on, again, I didn't know. I just know because Beyonce bought the dress from me. Like when they came and picked it up, they was like, she wants to keep the white dress. She wants to buy it or whatever. And they sent everything else from the collection back. So you're talking about waiting 365 days to see what Beyonce was going to do. So all year after she picked it up, they was like, yeah. So they told us, one of the assistants that came, he was like, yeah, she's doing 12 videos or whatever. And we never knew if it was coming out the same year that she bought it or now, a year later. And so I was just like, in my career at the time, I was just like, man, this would be the perfect time for Beyonce to drop that dress. All year I was saying it. Yes. And then,
you know, God knows. I don't know what your belief is, but
I believe in God. I'm only here because of God. So I know how God works. I know how the universe works. And again, like you said, and then when I was wanting it, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready mentally. I wasn't ready spiritually. I didn't have the team that I'm supposed to have now then. So, man, I went crazy. Like when I had just saw, you know how it shows the little piece of them carrying her and then it goes away? I was like, it's no way. That's it. You thought that was it. I said, no. I said, please, that's not it. That's not it. But when I saw it, we rewinded it. I screamed again. Everybody screamed. Like, we have the video of the model and the stylist recording it. And yeah, man. Yeah. Like, all I could think about was like, and I woke my daughter up because I just wanted her to see, like, Alani, you don't understand right now, but that belongs to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is an icon that you will learn about and understand, that's going to be written in history. And she has your name on her back right now. But she was like, yeah, Mom. Like, she didn't understand. So I'm like, I just wish you do right now. So when Beyonce comes on TV now, she's like, So I'm playing Beyonce all day now, especially 27
Just,
minutes and
that's
36 seconds
yes.
when that just come out. But so when she sees Beyonce on TV now, she's like, "That's my cousin. That's my," like, I don't know who told you that, but whatever you want.
You know how we do. That's her cousin.
Right. So yeah, but no, man, I can't even explain how I felt. I really can't. I just know my voice was gone in 2 minutes. It's still gone now, trying to come back. And I'm still, when I wake up now, like it did something to me, like as a person, to know, like, yes, I created history with Deviant, but now the conversation of Alani Taylor and Beyonce are in the same category, in the same sentence. And that's what I've been fighting for.
Like Jay-Z
you
said,
can't say it.
The price just went up. I tell people all the time.
I'm having a hard time with that. I'm so having a hard time with the price going up thing, because I know where I came from.
You still have to be true to yourself, but
right. And I don't know how to do it.
When it comes to the other celebrities, the price just went up.
Oh yeah. But to the people like yourself, to the people who have been there when I was doing streetwear only, I cater to them. Like, this is why I do it. I love the fact that celebrities wear my clothes, but they're not my target at all.
And you have to understand that. And that's one thing I love about Beyonce, is because she keeps a lot of people in her team that are just like that. Like, her hairstylist, he does everyday people hair in addition to Beyonce.
Right, her hair braider. She braided all the models' hair at my show. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and so I love that, and the fact that this is truly you're passionate about it, and it's not just about the money, and it's it's truly your art, and you want to make people. That's gonna take you even further. Like, you don't have an option to fail. Like, you can't. Like, just with that mindset, because what you get up every day to do is what you are meant to be doing, and you're trying to bring that hope and those different emotions to somebody else, and so failing is not an option.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That's
the military taught me that. I can't fail. I can't fail. When a mission is given, I'm gonna complete it. Like, absolutely. It's no other way.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the pieces that you well, actually, first, before I even get to that, because I totally forgot about this. So we talked about how you guys came together, and I saw the post where y'all were talking about how y'all were just stumped for hours trying to figure out what y'all were going to do and how y'all were going to collab. But kind of, what was the inspiration behind the piece?
Nothing. When we and that's the crazy part about it. Like, nothing was inspirational. We had colors that we wanted to stick with. And we wanted to make sure we did an all white piece. I think it came from me making a hat. I put the hat on, as you can see how it's on that mannequin. I put the hat on that mannequin, and I was like, yo, like, this is crazy. So then we started coming up with
start with like a statement piece, and it like creates the rest of that's like sometimes like when I'm styling somebody, I have one item that I'm like, this is it right here, and everything else is transformed around that one item.
So it would be sometimes Brittany would create a rope piece, and then the idea of everything else would come behind that rope, because you can't make the garment before the rope is made, because I now have to sew that rope into that garment. So with the white piece, we had the white piece, we had a blue piece that was crazy insane. Although she needed to make what was in her head first, and then once she was done, she can go to sleep. And then I had to come and say, how can I make this fire? So that rope piece would just be sitting on a mannequin, and now I got to work around all of that. So I knew I wanted the dress to be, I wanted it to be a 2-part thing with the Beyonce piece. So I created the skirt, of course, put that on, and then we knew if it was gonna be for anybody, I needed to put something to cover their bra area and all that, and that's when the whole Marilyn Monroe started coming through with the gloves and everything. So it never came from anything. It was just literally 2 creatives coming together and doing everything from scratch. Like, again, I don't draw, I don't create patterns. Everything that I do when I make, like, these pants I have on or whatever, I it's in my head, so I'm just gonna make it.
Patterns for your pants? Oh my God!
No, I don't make patterns for my pants at all. I don't make patterns for anything.
Now
It's because ever since I got my brain injury, I register things differently. So I can't, if I made that pattern, I'm gonna lose it anyway because I'm not gonna remember. So I had to teach myself how to start trying to keep certain things in my head, repetition. So because I was making these all day, every day, I literally just, if I have your measurements, the pattern's made from my eye.
Amazing.
And yeah, and that's it. So she knew that in order for me to do something, you either got to draw it and let me see the whole thing, and I will say how that pattern is supposed to be and just cut it. Or I had to make it and we fix whatever errors need to be fixed while the garment's made. But yeah, we never touch patterns or anything like that.
That's amazing. That's talent, right?
Thank you. Yeah, talent I didn't know I had. That's why that brand, like I said, me getting hurt was a gift and a curse, because it taught me different ways to like kind of maneuver through life.
That's amazing. That's full circle right there. You know, just look about some of the things that we go through and stuff like that, and how it has an impact on our life and for the better most of the time.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your new pieces and where you're going. And so I saw the live show. I was totally amazed. Yeah. I love the female chaps. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
Now to hear that you don't use a pattern, and for those jackets, the structure and the tailoring on those jackets, like I'm in awe right now. Like,
yeah, it's this crazy brain, man. It's just,
I see.
I swear, if I don't know how many times, like what I got to do for people, I wish people could feel what I feel. I don't know how I got here. I really don't.
God.
I do not know. Of course, outside of God, but man, it's crazy to me.
Your purpose, and you are where you're supposed to be when you're just like, what? I know when I do certain projects and stuff like that scare me. Like, I'm one of my biggest motivators is that fear should be a motivator and not a deterrent. And so if it's something that scares me, I'm doing it because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I walk in fear. Like, I'm like, okay, I might be a little nervous, but I'm gonna get it done. And so then afterwards, I'll be like, girl, I don't know how you did that, but okay. Like, you worked it out. And those are the moments where I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. And this, you know, what's crazy when all this, like, again, I got to keep bringing up because my brain injury changed my life. So a lot of things that I do and where I am, it has to do with that, because who I am now with a brain injury wasn't who I was before. So it would, again, he literally, like, I got to wipe everything you have ever been through as a kid out of your life, because if I don't, I can't get you where you need to go. So my brain, when I got
chills, girl.
But when I had gotten hurt, when I woke up, I was in a coma. When I woke up, I couldn't remember nothing. So I had to create all new memories. And I knew that growing up, I was molested from the time I was 2 to 16 years old. So I got the brain injury in 2013, and I woke up. Of course, I still had to heal, and I had these crazy visions and can only remember bad things that was happening. And but it made, like, I'm so serious when I say I am who I am today, because I had to create myself all over again. And because he was like, I guess he's like, yeah, you were messed up. Like, you went through a lot. And if I had to carry that with me, I probably would have been dead, because as a kid, I was told I tried to commit suicide tons of times. So, and starting at 7 years old. So when I say I don't know how I got here, one is because what I remember, I didn't know how to dress for nothing. I didn't know nothing about clothes. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't have a mother. I didn't have a father. You know, it was just my brothers, my cousins, my grandmother, my uncles, everybody, you know, with standard mindsets. Like, and they said from birth, you was always that kid that, like, we would go steal candy from the candy store, because one, we didn't have money to buy it, and my brothers and them would be eating their candy, and I'm on a corner selling it back to people for more than, to make the money that I was supposed
that's
to
the
pay,
mentality,
you know? Right. So I always knew I was different, than my family, and they will even say it too. But I still, when I wake up, like, I don't know how I got here with the patterns, the creations. Like I just be like, listen, I go with the universe, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're going now into not just having unisex clothing, but you're trying to tap into that women's wear.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit.
Cause I'm tired of y'all
Sounds like
attacking
you've been
me.
getting beat down. Beat
I
down.
am tired of y'all attacking me, man. Like, and it's because I'm in love with menswear.
Yeah.
I'm in love, like, my design started from how I dress, and I knew that was unisex. So you can take anything that I created, and a woman, if she had that fashion sense, she can make it bomb. Absolutely. But I knew that it was easier for a man to dress in Alani Taylor than a woman. Yeah. So a lot of my garments that I create, women that don't have that fashion sense can't really see themselves in it if it doesn't have a woman's physique to it. So I really did get tired of y'all coming at me and saying, when are you going to do stuff strictly for women? And anything that I do, if I can't give my all to it, I don't want to do it. Like they say, plus size, I would love to do it, but I don't think that I'm at that point where I can give plus size women what they deserve as a designer. So when I get there, they'll have it. Yeah. Right now, I've mastered women's clothing because I was scared of it coming up. That's why I didn't do it. And now I know how to create women's garments and still keep Alani Taylor to be a part of the aesthetic. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for people to see what we create. It's gonna be dope. Yeah.
I didn't have to pull too much out of you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm honest,
so inspiring. You know, and it's definitely your time. Like, it's your time.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciated that. You know, the last time, especially when it came to the whole collaboration thing, you know, you kind of let's let it go, whatever. But I appreciate that you fought for yourself this time or whatever, because, you know, as a creator, like, you have to do it. Like, nobody else is gonna do it for you, and so if you don't fight for your name, who else will? And so,
right. And I'm not just fighting for my name. I'm fighting for my daughter's name.
Absolutely.
You will not take that away from her. So
absolutely,
I'll probably fight way harder for her than I would for myself. Absolutely. So they got trouble when it comes to her name.
Understand? Oh my gosh, she's gonna go crazy. So yeah, this was definitely a making in the history, but it's not even over. It's just the beginning.
It is.
So I can only wait to see the things that you do. I'm excited for you and for Alani Taylor. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Murph. I truly appreciate this.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right.